You join the channel here over on Subscribestar, join the email list, and that way when I have crap to give away, comics and graphic novels and whatnot, I will give it away to those people first because they're already on the list. So, am I petty for making this video? Did I hate Wonder Woman 1984 that much? It was pretty bad. If you haven't seen it yet, it's 2.5 hours. You really have to sit through because it will tell you where we are or where Hollywood is, where they think we are. But I mean, to be fair, I guess that movie was kind of even too woke for Hollywood. So Patty Jenkins and her boobs. Remember when Elizabeth Banks and the Woman King director said that, I don't even remember her name, that's how memorable that film was, that if their movies weren't successful, then it means that women can't direct, and then those movies failed. So I guess women can't direct. I mean, is that true? Women can't direct? Maybe women should think twice about directing, or like Hallmark type of movies. Those kind of the kind of romance, and it's always Christmas, and they're getting married left and right kind of stuff. That's what women are really good for. Oh, I want to direct an action adventure for men, but you're not a man, so that's probably not going to fly. But we're fungible. There's no difference between men and women. Yeah, there's quite a bit of it. Anyway, so did Patty Jenkins. Like, this is a newer photo. You got to look back at her like 10, 15 years ago. She had a rockin' body. Did she suck and F her way to the top? Yes, she probably did. Go look at the older pictures of her. She had a great body and she always had her boobs out. If you're in Hollywood and you got your choice between a 300-pound sack of lard who is talented or a 110-pound hottie, the Weinsteins in Hollywood are going to pick the vagina. I always pick the ugliest fat nerd I can for any project. Never hire attractive women for anything. Only men, blue or green eyes, seem to be magic for getting projects done. Sorry, Hazel losers. So Patty made Wonder Woman Part 1, which I thought was mediocre, but, nerds seemed to like it. They liked it because they were used to mediocre films, especially from DC, but superhero films in general are what they are. They know they have a captive audience, the fat neckbeards. Wonder Woman 1, which, I like this movie too, or at least I did before they just got woker and, well, you can't even define woke. How about some synonyms? Misandrist and anti-white. How about that? And then you tell them that, like, but those aren't like real things or like whatever. But I feel they are. And in this world of appeal to emotion, my feelings are perfectly valid. Wonder Woman 1 was popular, relatively speaking, because Gal Gadot fit the or Gal Gadot. I don't care about the pronunciation. It's more elegant to say Gal Gadot. Fit the role pretty well, even though she's Middle Eastern or not Greek or whatever she's supposed to be. It's a tribe in South America, I think, from the original stories. But I mean, it's a Greek story, right? So they probably envisioned them like themselves. People seem to like her. She was popular, and she did fine in the role, even though she had an Israeli accent. I mean, well, there are about 1 billion people who very much don't like her, but they weren't going to watch the movie anyway. And, can I say that on YouTube? I don't know what I can joke about. So I probably shouldn't have named that hot country. So she was pretty much half the reason the first film sold, but it was not a very good movie. It looked like a very skinny and fit X model rolled around on a green screen. And in terms of DC movies, it was a slight step in the right direction because of all the other crap that had come out that was just kind of flat, in terms of DC. So then Wonder Woman 84 came out 3 years later in 2020. The sequel came out. It was 2.5 hours of this anti-white feminist nonsense. It was like peak 2014 Tumblr teenage feminism. If you were on Twitter and Instagram and Twitter and social media back in 2014, 15, and then the run up with Trump, like there's no describing. Because you had social media and it was in everyone's hands, and you had teenagers on social media, and they're just melting down over the idea that they couldn't get Bernie into office. So anyway, with Wonder Woman Part 2, it's like, hey, you're out on this vagina island, and it's one tribe of Greek women, but I can't help but notice that there are a bunch of non-Greek women here. How do African and Greek women form a tribe together? It's like the first 15 minutes of God, the movie just went on and on and on. The first 15 minutes of 1984 was this Olympic Games type of thing. It was so freaking ridiculous. So, I'm Hugo Boss for asking a very obvious question about this cultural Marxist nonsense. Because here's the thing. Let's get to the image. A tribe is a nation of one people. It's weird they didn't include Europeans or Asians in Wakanda. I guess the replacement only works in one direction. It's as if... Oh, never mind. So 1984 was painfully stupid. I would have been pissed if I paid for it, but I don't pay for anything anymore, which is the way. So a discussion of how bad the movie was is really a longer video. I mean, maybe I could live stream on Odyssey where you can show that kind of stuff. But plus, it was like 2.5 hours of bad. I mean, that's just like she is just sitting there jerking herself off of like, yes, this is going to be a 2.5 hour lecture of the patriarchy, but it's only going to be against blonde hair, blue eyed people who are going to be patriarchally bad. Nobody else. Oh, that's weird. Patty Jenkins. Anyway, so the movie bombed, but the thing is, it had perfect timing. They were able to blame it on the Wu flu, which, to be fair, like people were, I didn't take that whole thing too seriously. I mean, I did wash my hands a little bit more, but other than that, it's like your option of, oh, you want to go sit in a theater for 2.5 hours wearing an N95? I'm like, probably not. And now I look at movies now, I think, oh, people will get back to the theater, and I'm hearing some people say like, yeah, they're never going to go to the theater again because of the Wu flu thing. I look at it like, the movies suck, dude. I'm never going to the theater again because the movies suck. Please, if you disagree with that, please point me in the direction of a movie that you think doesn't suck, and I'll tell you why you're wrong, why it does suck. And I don't just mean I'm going to express my opinion and you're going to disagree. I mean, we'll have the discussion. At the end of the discussion, you'll agree with me. You'll be like, oh, let's go down the rabbit hole hand in hand. These movies really do suck. Yeah, here are these sunglasses you should wear. That's why the fight scene was so long, I think. I mean, it was to try to get the point across that that's how hard it is to put the darn sunglasses on somebody's head, but you have to keep fighting to strap them. Just wear the effing sunglasses. Anyway, so she had perfect timing with the Wu flu. Like I said, this is recent, but you go back like 10 years before this, and she was she's like, people are relatively hot, for your circle of behind the camera, and behind the camera, like, she was a 10 out of 10. Yes, the people who are in front of the camera are obviously going to be, top beautiful people, but the people like, hot for your circle, and Patty Jenkins was definitely hot for her circle, at least when she was younger. The thing is, everyone working at Warner Brothers, I think, knew the movie sucked, but unfortunately, Patty has a vagina, and it's harder to fire her. The vagina gives her diversity points. If she had balls, that would have been her last movie. It was a 2.5 hour lecture on how much she hates blonde hair, blue eyed people. And you think I'm exaggerating, please go watch the movie. You can find it on Odyssey, Solar 123. Again, note every positive and negative portrayal. Once you see it, you can never unsee it. These people legitimately hate you. Every Islamophobicism they claim to be fighting, they literally are. It's all projection. They are anti-white racists, but they also subscribe to the soft bigotry of lowered expectations. Anyway, so yeah, I think she sucked and effed her way to making movies because her films are horrible. And as I said, when she was younger, she had a rockin' body. But I think she got a swollen head from the first Wonder Woman, and for some reason didn't see or understand what a giant bomb Part 2 was, but the people at Warner Brothers knew how bad it was. But really, I mean, is it her fault? They probably wanted a woke movie. They got one. But when it came time to make Part 3, which they have to do because she has a vagina, they know that they had to watch over her closely. Her name gets to be on the movie, but she's not really making it. The political commissar is kind of correcting her, which is probably pretty common with vagina enjoyers and other purse puppies in Hollywood, kind of the ghostwriter thing. I knew the reason Wonder Woman 1 was okay because it was I heard the reason it was okay because it was kind of a George Lucas situation where he was a big picture guy and his first wife, among others, had to help get that horsepower to the wheels. Even Harrison Ford had to fix some of the lines when he was talking to Princess Leia before he gets frozen in carbonite. Now, who's a fat neckbeard now? I love you, I know. So in World War I, she had some talent fixing the stupid shit she was putting in, but maybe her ego got too big for Part 2 because that was horrible, man. That was 2.5 hours of little nice scenes mixed in this melange of just mud. So the other rumor is that she was getting to be a little bit of a pain in the ass. It's okay to be a pain in the ass as long as you're selling. You can't be eccentric and make films that bomb, which almost certainly Wonder Woman Part 3 would have. But I also think most Hollywood stuff coming out is going to underperform. Post-2020, BLM, Bolshevik riots, everything has to be fake and cringe. almost said the G word. I don't see a solution for them, which is fine because they are the people of the reptile. So I hope they keep making propaganda so we can point out their crab people agenda. They're going mask off, but it gives us a great chance to talk about it. I really hate these people so much. So they fired her for going woke, but really somebody should just grab Gal Gadot and make the movie right now before she ages out of the role. Give her a last movie that or where she's the solo character because she's going to be in other movies. But like, I guess you could. Who would direct it? James Gunn or something. He seems to know what he's doing. Almost anyone. I mean, anyone male, I think could direct it. It's like you really kind of need a male energy for an action adventure film. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys all next episode.